Hello and welcome back. And in this video, we are going to be discussing a new feature that was introduced in iOS 16 with MapKit, and this one is called LookAround. So basically, this feature is simply your street view, a panoramic view, where you can drop a pin on the map using Apple Maps, and then you can look around. Just like the name suggests. So let me show you what we've got. So this is the Apple campus, but I'm gonna step outside the Apple campus and I'm gonna drop a pin right here. And as you can see here, we can actually basically not only see the street, but if we click on look around, we can actually walk on the street. And Apple makes it super easy, and the transition is super smooth. As you can see, I'm double tapping and you can actually continue to basically explore. So this is the feature that was introduced in once again iOS 16, and it actually is supported in many countries now. This is more or less like your street view for Google Maps, but it has definitely a much smoother transition as compared to what I have experienced, at least. Okay, so we're gonna actually let's take a look at another example. I'm gonna actually go and zoom out from here, and so let's see if I can actually zoom out a little bit and let's go to San Francisco. So all right, okay, let me relaunch the app and let's do it one more time. Okay, so I'm going to relaunch and I'm going to zoom out without tapping, and we see Cupertino. Okay, all right, and I'm going to walk over to San Francisco to the Golden Gate. Okay, and we can drop our pin right at the Golden Gate to look around. And this is basically the best experience. That when first time I actually discovered this feature, I was like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to walk around virtually around Golden Gate. So as you can see how smooth the transition is. Okay, all right, so this is going to be the sample, or this is going to be the app that we're going to be building today in this video, where we're going to let user drop a pin and then they can look around. Okay, they can explore the area. All right, there are a few things that we need to do for this, so let's go ahead and get started. All right, so first thing is we're gonna need to know user's location, because we're actually gonna do a location tracking. Although you don't need to, you can center your map directly at a coordinate and let your user drop the pins there. Okay, it just tracking the location makes it a little bit easy for us to basically let user pick a location without much zooming in and out. All right, so first thing we're gonna do is that we're gonna go into our info.plist, and I want to add a new privacy for location tracking when in use. So we're gonna look for privacy location when in use usage description, and we are going to provide a description, look around the map. All right, whatever makes sense to you, please go ahead and put that. Next thing, we're going to create a new file, and this is going to be called location manager, and this is where we're going to create a location manager conforming to CL location manager delegate protocol. Okay, which is going to help us detect user's location and drop our user location pin there. Okay, so we're going to import core location. We're going to create a final class called location manager. Now this class is going to conform to or inherit from NS object, because NS object is a superclass, and it's going to conform to observable object, and it's also going to conform to CL location manager delegate, meaning it's going to provide those delegate functionalities. Okay, but we're going to create a private location manager, CL location manager object, and also we're going to create a published property since this is an observable object, we can actually create a publisher for user location. This is going to be of type CL location coordinate 2D, and we're going to make it optional when it's initialized. Okay, next thing we're going to do is we're going to override the initializer. We're going to call super.init first, and then we're going to basically set some properties for our location manager, like delegate. We're going to define ourselves as the delegate, and we're going to have CL location accuracy best dot request when in use authorization, and start updating location. Make sure you have start updating location, not start updating heading. Now the only function that we're gonna provide the functionality for is gonna be did update locations. Okay, and we're gonna check if the user's location has already been tracked. We don't want to track it, or we don't want to capture it again, so we're gonna simply return from there. If not, then we're gonna get the first location from locations. Oh, actually, you know what? Let's take the last location because that's going to be the most accurate, and change the parameter name to location. If we can't get that, we're going to return from here. If we can get that, we're going to set the user location to the location dot coordinate. All right. And that is all we need basically for our location manager. Okay. Now, next, what we're going to do is we are going to create a map view, all right, which is going to be conforming to UI view representable. Again, this functionality is not available directly in SwiftUI's map view. So we're going to use UIKit version of map view, which is much more powerful, by the way. And we're going to basically implement all this functionality there, and we're going to basically port it over into SwiftUI. Okay. So first thing we're going to do is we are going to create a view controller, or a view basically conforming to UI view controller representable for LookAround scene. Now, LookAround is a view controller. So for that reason, we're going to be implementing UI view controller representable, not UI view representable. So let's go ahead and set that. So I'm going to write here, I'm going to create a new file, and we're going to call this LookAround view. Yeah, LookAround view. Let's call it that. Okay. We're going to import SwiftUI, and we're also going to import core MapKit. Actually, let's import MapKit. All right. We're going to create our struct, which is going to be called LookAround view, UI conforming to UI view controller representable. And then we're going to create, first of all, we're going to create a couple of properties. We're going to create binding properties, one for tab location to track where user has tabbed, and second parameter or second binding variable is going to be basically to show whether to show the LookAround view or not. So it's going to be a binding variable, tab location, CL location coordinate 2D, going to mark it optional. The second one is going to be show LookAround view, which is going to be a Boolean type. All right. Now, this UI view controller representable, just like UI view representable, requires us to implement two methods. Now, both of them are based on some view controller that's going to be returned. So for the type alias, we're going to say type alias for UI view controller type is going to be called something new that was introduced called MK LookAround view controller. This is a class, once again, if you can look at the definition, a class that manages the presentation and display of LookAround view. Okay, so we're going to define its type, and now when we create our make UI view controller, it's going to have this type defined, and we can actually have the update UI as well. So those two functions are the ones that are required. Now, first thing we're going to do is we are going to return an instance of an object of mk LookAround view controller, and this is as simple as just initializing the view controller and returning that. All right, now there is a scene that gets created whenever location is found. So what happens is basically Apple at their API, they actually try to figure out if they have the data to show the LookAround view. Again, data is basically those panoramic photos, and if that view has the information available, then the scene is returned, and we use that scene basically to display the LookAround view controller. All right, so in order for us to get a little bit help, we're going to create a helper function which is going to help us request the scene. Now, requesting scene is a asynchronous process, so it's async await function. So we're gonna do basically we're gonna create a LookAround request, and we're gonna create a function which is gonna be async in nature, and we're gonna call that inside a task. All right, there's a lot of things that have been said, so let's go ahead and put together the code and it'll all make sense to you. So func get scene, and this scene is gonna take tabbed location, CL location, coordinate 2D. You can actually supply any location you want. Like, let's say if you have maybe Eiffel Tower in mind, okay? You can actually pass the coordinate for Eiffel Tower. Since we are developing a feature where the user can tap on it and then we show the LookAround, that's why we are taking the tab location as a parameter, okay? This is going to be an optional type, and this function is going to be async in nature. It is going to return mk LookAround scene, which is going to be an optional type as well. If the scene is not found, we're going to return nil. Now, we want to basically extract the latitude and longitude information from tabbed location. So let's go ahead and put them in if let. So if let is tabbed location dot latitude, let long is equal to tabbed location dot longitude. If we get those two information, then we actually create our scene request. mk LookAround scene request. Scene request takes coordinate as a parameter, so we can use an initializer that takes the latitude and longitude, supplying our lat and long information. Okay, now we're gonna basically create a do try catch block, because the function call can throw the error, and we wanna print error, and we also want to return nil from here. Okay, now if we can't basically extract latitude and longitude, we still want to return nil here as well. Okay, now here what we're going to do is we're going to simply say return try await scene request dot scene. So basically we're going to await on requesting the scene. If it throws an error, we're going to throw an error, we're going to print that, and we're going to return nil for the scene. All right, otherwise we're going to return the actual scene that we have basically requested from Apple services. All right, once we have this function, which is our helper function helping us requesting a scene ready, we are going to go into update UI view controller, and we're going to say if let tabbed location, meaning we have a tabbed location. Then we're gonna create a task block. Inside this, we're gonna say if let scene is equal to await on get scene, okay, for the tabbed location. All right, and here what we're gonna do is we're gonna initialize latitude and longitude, and we're gonna say we can get tab location dot latitude from here, and tapped location dot longitude from here. Okay, so this is gonna return us a scene if it all succeeds. Okay, so if we get the scene, we're gonna simply create a with animation block, and we're gonna say self dot show look around is equal to true. Okay, and for the view controller, we're gonna say assign the view controller scene to the scene that has been returned to us. All right, if this is not the case, all right, if if await returns nil, then we're gonna execute an else statement, and we're gonna say with animation just self dot show look around view is equal to false. So just set it false and return from here. Okay, all right, so basically what we are doing is we are creating a request to get a look around scene for the given location. If we get that, we actually assign it to the view controller that was created, which is of type mk_lookaround view controller, and we return that scene. Okay, so we're gonna use this lookaround view inside our SwiftUI. Okay, so now we need our map view. Okay, so we're gonna create our map view. So let's go ahead and create our map view. So I'm gonna add a new file, and we're gonna name this map view. Okay, now this map view is gonna have two things. It's gonna have a map view, and it's also gonna have a coordinator which is gonna act as the delegate class. Basically, a map view coordinator is going to be the delegate that's implementing all the delegate functions for the view controller, or for the UI view in this case. And then we're going to create our map view and respond to all those events that are happening at the delegate level. Okay, so first thing first, we're going to create our let's import MapKit. We're going to create our final class, and this is something that we're going to need, so we're going to create that firsthand. So map view coordinator. Coordinator is basically your delegate class, and this time it's going to be mk map view delegate. Okay, and we're going to have a binding property, and let's import SwiftUI. A binding property for tabbed location, which is going to be of CL location coordinate 2D, and let's also import core location for that reason. We're going to have our parent. Parent is going to be our map view, which is not created yet. So let's go ahead and create that struct. Map view, UI view representable, type alias, mk map view, make, and then update. All right, so we have our parent view ready, and in the initializer, we're going to create an initializer which is going to take map view, which is the view instance which is calling this particular class or the delegate, and tabbed location. So it's going to be taking that parameter as well. Tab location is going to be a binding type for CL location coordinate 2D optional type. And what we're going to do is we're going to take self.parent, assign it to the map view, whatever map view instance is being passed, and for self._tab location, basically this is what you use in order to initialize binding properties. So underscore tabbed location not self dot, but just the tab location. Okay, so in this we're going to create a function which is basically going to be a function that is going to respond to the tap gestures. So tap gesture is going to be assigned, or we're going to actually assign or add a tap gesture on our map, which is going to basically detect the tap location, convert it into coordinates that are required or understood by the map view, and you're going to use those coordinates to drop to get the touch location and get the coordinates to drop the and we're going to use that coordinates to drop the annotation. All right, how can it be done? Well, it's simple. Simply create add object C function, because this is going to be something that we're going to access from the selector. So we're going to simply create a tabbed on map function, which is going to provide us sender. Sender is going to be UI tap gesture recognizer, which we're going to add to our map. We're going to create a guard let statement for map view, which is going to be sender dot view mk map view. And if we can't translate the sender dot view as mk map view, we want to return from here because user might not have tapped on the map itself. Okay. Next, we're gonna basically get the touch location for the user. So that touch location. So if user has touched on the map somewhere, we're gonna get the location in sender.view. Okay, and we're gonna convert that location into coordinates with the help of a convert function available in map view. So location coordinate is equal to map view dot convert point to coordinates. Okay, so we're gonna have our touch location that user has touched basically at a particular location, and we're gonna convert to coordinate from sender.view. All right, we're gonna create one more object for annotation, which is gonna be mk point annotation. All right, and we're gonna say annotation dot coordinates are gonna be basically coordinates that we have captured from the location coordinate that we have computed based on the touch location. So we're gonna simply say location coordinate dot latitude, location coordinate dot longitude. Okay, and we're gonna take our self location and pass the self dot tap location and pass the location coordinate, the converted coordinates, into that. So we're gonna store that value in this binding property as well. Okay, next we're gonna take our map view. We're gonna remove all the annotations. Okay, so we're gonna remove all the annotations that are there in the map view, and we're gonna add the new annotation at the location where user has tapped. All right, so this is basically our coordinator. Once we have our coordinator ready, we are ready to actually finish our map view. So the ways we're gonna create our map view, in the make UI view, we're gonna create, let's go ahead and create a couple of properties first. So first one is gonna be a binding property for tabbed location. We wanna pass this around and we're gonna get this from the main view. So CL location coordinate 2D optional type. We also want to initialize our location manager here. So we're going to create a state object variable location manager is equal to location manager and just initialize the object. So once we have this location manager ready, we're going to create our map view first, mk map view, and we're going to return this map view, and in between we're going to do a few things. So first thing, map view dot show user location, we're going to set this to true, and we're going to say let's add a tap gesture, UI tap gesture recognizer with target as context dot coordinator, and for the selector we're going to say it's going to be map view coordinator dot tabbed on map function. That's going to act as the selector. Now next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our map view and we're going to add the gesture recognizer onto the map, the gesture recognizer that we have created. So this is basically all of our map view object being created. Now next, in the update UI view, we're gonna say if UI view the delegate is not equal to nil. That means delegate has already been assigned. We don't want to continue from here. We don't want to attach multiple delegates. So we're just gonna return from here. But if that's not the case, we're gonna say if let user location. So get the user location from location manager. Okay, so if we get that, we're gonna say UI view dot set region. So this is where you can actually use your own coordinates instead of basically using the location manager's coordinate. You can simply put your own coordinates, but we are using location coordinate. We're going to provide an initializer which takes the center value and latitude and longitude in meters. So we're going to say user location. It's going to be the center, and 400 and 400 in latitude and longitude delta, basically how zoomed out we want to show our map. And for the animation, we're going to set it to false. We also want to say, let's take this opportunity to set the delegate as context.coordinator. Now, where is this coordinator coming from? Well, we have a make coordinator function which returns an object of some type, and this type is map view coordinator. And what we're going to do is we're going to simply say map view coordinator, return this. And map view coordinator object, when you create it, we actually are passing self as the parent, and tabbed location, we're simply passing that on as we have received it from the main view. Remember, this is also binding, so we are passing it as a binding value. Okay, so once we have these things, basically the update view ready and your make coordinator ready, all we got to do now is we got to go into our main content view and start using this. So we're going to go into content view, and we are going to import core location because we're going to need that. And then we're going to create a couple of state variables first. Tabbed location is going to be 1. CL location coordinate 2D is going to be optional type. Then there's going to be another one to show look around. This is going to be a Boolean type with initial value set to false. Inside the VStack, what we're going to do is we're going to actually change this to ignore safe area, and we're going to use this VStack that is already created, and we're going to create our map view first. Tab location, we're going to send the binding to our, basically for the binding property tab location, we're going to send this state value, and we're going to say if the tabbed location is not equal to nil. In that case, we want to show our look around view. All right, and look around view actually takes the tabbed location, so we're going to pass the tabbed location there, and it also expects us to pass show look around. So we're going to say show look around is the Boolean, and then we're going to actually just set a couple of things. For example, corner radius 20, and we are also going to set the opacity for show look around as 1 and 0, although I don't think this is going to be needed. So let's remove this for now, and let's see if that actually works. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to build and run onto the simulator, and we're going to say, okay, allow while using the app, and there we have it. Basically we are at the Apple campus. If I click on the Apple campus, there is a look around for the Apple campus. Looks like it's empty. Let's see. Okay, there we go. So anywhere outside, I think it is available. Okay, there we go. We are getting the full view now. So let's go ahead and look around in the Apple campus. So you're gonna go, and as you can see, we can actually just go and roam around in Apple's new campus without actually leaving our room. Alright, and you can basically turn around and see what the main entrance looks like, and this is what the main entrance for Apple looks like. And if you can't zoom in, you get this effect for free. By the way, this is all basically using, we are using this look around view controller that we created, the instance that we created, which takes over as soon as we pass the scene. Now you can go and basically go into an area where you can walk around, or if you go into a place where, let's say, let me see if I can actually zoom out. All right. Okay, so if I go put my pin inside the somewhere in the lake, right? Yeah, so it's not gonna update the view, right? Because there's no look around there. Okay, but as long as you have, like, something where the look around value is available, that's where we actually can show the look around view. All right, let's go ahead and one thing I want to set is show look around 1, otherwise 0. Okay, let's try this because what I want to try is basically hiding the other view. So let's say if we don't, okay, yeah, so there we go. This is perfect. So if we don't have the view, or if we don't have, like, the scene, we can actually simply, yeah, you can simply show a blank. And what I want to do is, if the tab location, if look around is, okay, so let's try this. Tab location and show look around is equal to true, and show look around. Okay, let's try this. All right, so initially we have this. Okay. All right. Show look around. It's gonna be. Oh yeah, because we are tapping that. Anyways, I'm gonna leave it right here. It's a good enough example. I'm still exploring the API itself. So I'm going to continue to explore, but hopefully you found this video helpful, basically understanding how this new feature called Look Around works. Okay. All right. So this was really fun creating. So thank you once again for watching, and I will see you guys in another video. Thank you.